Commander Legends is bringing a new exciting concept to the draft and limited environment, but it's good to be prepared so that you can obtain your victories. The archetypes have a lot of synergy this time around, but which archetypes are the best ones? Well, let's find out together. Hello, fellow Planeswalkers, it's Nerd Phil here. So if you're ready for more MTG content and more ways to find out how you can win in the limited environment for Commander Legends, go ahead and just click that sub and like button down below. Today, I'll be ranking the 10 archetypes from worst to best, so stick around to find out which archetype you should be leaning for. I'll be explaining the strengths and weaknesses of each one so you can play to your own playstyle. Number 10 is Black-Red Sacrifice. So Rakdos is back with the Sacrifice mechanic, and even though Black and Red have solid removal spells, the Sacrifice mechanic is hard to pull off without seriously injuring your own board. Just like with Ravnica Allegiance, it's a strange idea to kill your own creatures for value and resource, so it's generally not a good idea to do. You might be better off just getting the best removal spells and getting some great fantastic creatures in those colors, but the payoff is a lot stronger this time around for Commander Legends, so it's still an archetype that you can try and pull off. Number 9 is Red-White Voltron with auras and equipments. Voltron decks in general are hard to pull off in limited because they take up your non-creature slot and they don't always directly affect your opponent's side of the field. It makes the deck a little bit harder to build because you need a solid balance of auras and equipments and also removal spells. Luckily, the auras and equipments are the strongest they've been in any other set, so you might be able to pull off victories by just making one or two creatures really big and extremely hard to answer. Number 8 is White-Black tokens. Now, although white and black have arguably the best removal spells in the limited environment, this combo is particularly hard to pull off because the creatures that buff your tokens will be target number 1, and then you'll be stuck with tiny tokens again. Keep in mind that some of your non-creature spells that are dedicated to buffing your tokens take up your non-creature removal spell slots. But if you do manage to remove enough threats and keep your buffering cards up on the field, you'll be in a really solid position to win and hard to answer because you're going really wide. Number 7, Blue-Red Pirates, which is aggro and a little bit of tempo. Blue-Red Pirates by itself is a little bit hard to pull off because the creatures tend to be on the weaker side, so removal spells can really pick them off. You'll definitely want some big butts later on in the game so that you're not overwhelmed by the bigger creatures that are in green per se. I would recommend getting aggressive with your creatures and with your tempo spells, making some treasures, and then ramping up to your big creatures. Number 6, Blue-Green Ramp and Cascade. Cascade is a bit of a gamble in limited, but you could really pull yourself into the lead with this gamble, but you might also attract too much attention. You don't want to shoot yourself too far into the lead to the point where you become arch enemy number 1. I think the best way to go about this is ramp as early as possible, play into some Cascade creatures, and then play bigger Cascade creatures to the point where you can overwhelm your opponents and your opponents are too afraid to retaliate against you. Number 5, Blue-Black Reanimate. This archetype takes a bit of a setup, but the payoffs are extremely high. Also, this deck has the most flexibility to just take cards from other archetypes and still do what it wants to do. You may also want to pick up some flyers and blues so that you can be aggressive early on and also just block flyers that are just coming at your face. Number 4, Green-White Counters. Green-White Counters was by far the strongest archetype in War of the Sparks, and even though it doesn't have the proliferate mechanic, there are so many other creatures this time around that just give +1/+1 counters in different ways. There's also additional payoff like drawing cards or playing cheapers for creature for having +1/+1 counters, so you can keep this engine going and going. Number 3, Big Red Smash to the Face. Green-Red not only ramps into big creatures, but it can also just be extremely aggressive early on. It can take some solid pirate cards in red and just smash face and smash harder. And also, some of the green cards have Cascade, so you can just play into more and more big butts and be more aggressive. Keep in mind these colors don't have the best removal spells, so definitely pick up some removal spells in red to keep you going. Number 2, Black-Green Elves. Now, I wouldn't put a tribal deck with low toughness so high up on the list, but the synergy and the reward and payoffs for playing Black-Green Elves is ridiculously high in Commander Legends. Not only do the elves have value by themselves, but some of the elves in black replace themselves when they die, so you have more elves. Keep in mind, you don't want to be all in on elves. You do want some big butts from green to stabilize yourself and not get overwhelmed. And finally, the best archetype, number 1, is Blue-White Flyers. Should we be surprised at this point? I mean, I think we all saw this coming. Look, blue-white flyers has always been good in limited, but they seem stupidly good this time around in Commander Legends. Like, I mean, extremely busted. There are plenty of commons and uncommons in blue-white flyers that spread across the board, and you can also dab a little bit into the +1 strategy from white to make your creatures even bigger. So I hope this video helps you get those victories in Commander Legends. Let me know in the comments down below what archetype you are most excited to play in the limited environment. Be sure to subscribe down below so that you can see me grade the commons and uncommons for the limited environment and know which cards are generally the best overall. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next legendary Nerd Fill.